Well, welcome to the Iron Table. If you look by our shocked faces, it's because there was no music playing at the beginning. Did anyone hear any music? I didn't hear any
I don't know.
music, so I guess they finally got us. So we had some copyrighted music. And said no. So yeah, welcome to the Iron Table, where iron sharpens iron, so should men sharpen men. Our intro would have said, "My name is Brian, and I brought to the table Keith, Penny, and Steve." Where we're going to talk to y'all, bring a little bit of accountability, a lot of humor, and going to see where this goes. So before we get into today's top five, I already sent it to them, so I'm hoping that at least one person in this square has a top five. Um, but before we get into that, just doing a little litmus check. So fellas, how you doing? How was your? It's about a month since we actually took off the entire month of May, and there's a reason why. But we'll let the fellas get in and just talk about how their month was, if they can sum it up. Fellas,
Busy month. Busy month for me. We're currently out in Utah. In the last week, I traveled about 5,500 miles. I had some unplanned layovers. Celebrated a birthday. Celebrated my daughter's graduation. It's been a busy month.
oh, okay. Are you passing out tracks in Utah?
Oh, no, not passing out tracks, but definitely out here enjoying the dry heat as opposed to that humidity that we're normally used to. But I think everybody in this round table had birthdays either that just happened or that's about to happen, and so yeah, been a busy stretch.
Okay. And I got to let people know Utah is a beautiful, beautiful state. They don't get enough credit for the scenic beauty that they have. Cool, cool. All right, who's up next?
Uh,
Yeah, chilling. Mother's Day was also in May. Y'all, like I said, birthdays, Mother's Day, just the busy season, graduations, proms, all that fun stuff. So everything going on, but we here.
Okay.
definitely. Everything is, yeah, definitely. Another had a birthday in May as well. It's been very busy. Apparently, women do the thing of birthday month, not a day. So we've been doing something almost every day, every weekend or whatnot. But I'm definitely appreciative of it. So
Oh, so that's
mhm.
over now. We in June, so that's over.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. So I don't heard some women talking about so now I got a birthday quarter where they just take the whole three
Oh,
months and
quarter.
just celebrate. I'm like, okay, all right,
Okay. Well, I'll say I too had a birthday. Surprisingly, Steve and I shared the same day, which
okay.
I had to remind Steve that I was like, dude, we have the same day. You almost lost it. I was about to tell you, you're gonna have to move to another day. Some of the shenanigans he was telling me to ask for. Um, but it was definitely a busy month from just having to take a couple of days off to recover. Uh, not as young as I used to be, so why am I trying to lift lawnmowers and furniture and move and just do all types of stuff? My new belt is a lifting belt that comes with those little elastic suspenders. But thankful, and I'll share with the guys, and I'll share with everyone here. My wife actually came downstairs, looked around, and was like, "Are you going to buy any more speakers?" And I sat there and I thought, I was like, "She's asking me to buy speakers, or is she telling me not?" So, so I went upstairs with my head a little down, and I just said, "You know what? I'm not buying any more speakers.
The lies.
That
Yeah,
ain't
no, you
coming."
lied. You
I'm
lied to your
telling,
wife.
I'm telling. So I didn't upgrade it from speakers to furniture. No, so I got rid of all this furniture and just actually pulled in some new pieces today that I'll be assembling later. Growing up sucks. No more is it, getting that old Nintendo cartridge, blowing your last breath into it in order to get it to work. We old now, so cool. Well, I'm glad y'all are here, and special shout out goes to Mr. Jones, who's having a birthday in what, like 4 more days,
4 days.
I don't
4 days.
keep up.
But that's why we're here. We keep it up. So
Everybody else keeps up for it. They keep up with it for me.
we're gonna celebrate for you.
I see.
Celebrate for you. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be too
celebrate.
busy to celebrate yourself.
Probably.
Will you be accepting phone calls that day?
I am. I am.
Okay. You might be busy. You might be gone. Cellular package may not work where you know. And who knows?
So you seeing clients is what you saying, Q?
That's a business trip.
Oh no, he said he accepted phone calls, so that means he's accepting
Right.
clients' calls too, right? Mhm.
I accept phone calls.
They better throw that
Anytime.
phone in the sea of forgetfulness.
I tell people you can always call. I may not answer. I'm always accepting. You can always call. Now, if I'm free or not, that's different. But don't be discouraged. Call anyway. You leave a voicemail. I'll call you back
All right, just
one day.
little housekeeping stuff. Of course, you can find us on our main page, irontable.buzzsprouts.com. You can find us on Google Podcasts. I think there's still Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Of course, you're looking at us on YouTube if you're watching this right now. But share it with your friends. And finally, we don't own the rights to music so much so that they took it from us. But if there is any music here, we just appreciate the talents and the crafts of those, and we just want to use and honor their gifts. All right, so we're gonna make this a little fun and easy. I'm envious of the tropical sounding background in Danny's square. We ain't got no. We had some rough weather the last couple of days, but
Yeah.
all right. What are the top 5 things men look for in marriage? And we say our first marriage, our second marriage, third, fourth. I mean, well, there have to be a core group because there's some brothers out there that they might just need to look at the pretty face and the slim waist. But we know that in time that'll fade away or that'll expand. But what are those core things that men we need to look for? Those top 5 things that we need to look for in marriage.
Mm.
I'll start off. One of the things that helped me was I did an internal look at what I was lacking, and I said I need to be with someone who could help strengthen that area. Like one of the hardest things for me was telling people no. I'm like, well, if they ask, using that, you might be entertaining angels or something like that. And so I would wear myself pretty thin. Just help, and not really expecting much in return or anything in return. And so in my dark corners, I'd probably be fuming, like, man, I'm so tired. How do they keep asking? It's like their hands coming out looking like cups. Always in a receiving mode. But I was like, I just need to maybe if I can't do it because of how I was raised and my thought process, I need to be with someone who knows how to set boundaries. And so I was fortunate to find a woman that set boundaries and walls and all other type of protective measures to help steer me.
Wait, did you just say walls?
Yeah, I did say walls. I said walls.
Break that down. I
Well,
know about boundaries, but walls, like
walls. Let's look at we all driven on the road, and I think Steve is on the road right now. He looks to his left or his right. He probably sees one of them little concrete barriers. We used to call them Jersey walls, and that's to keep us from going in the wrong direction, veering into the other side of the road. So those type of walls, in order to steer us, to keep us going in the direction that we ultimately want to go in, or if we're stubborn, we don't know we want to go in, but we need to go in that direction. So for me, I say,
barriers, boundaries.
yeah, I just called it a wall. Yeah, sometimes it's taller than others, just in case I want to get out of line and climb over it. All kind of tall. But yeah, for me, it was one of those just being with, aligning myself with someone um, who could help strengthen that area, because I personally saw that I lacked the uh, the tools at the time in order to say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out the gate, and
Come out the gate.
I don't think this is number one, but I do. It's got to be on the list. Sex. It's got to be
Thank
there.
you. Oh my God, I'm so
Uh
glad
huh.
y'all not PC.
Yeah.
Thank
No. No.
you.
No. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and keep it 100. If I'm gonna stop
Yep.
doing it everywhere else, I
Exactly.
for sure, best to be getting it real good right here. Um,
Mm.
and so, if a man is going to say, "I will forsake all others," it's because he
Uh-huh.
getting some from the one. And I think far too many huh, underestimate how important,
Uh-huh.
downplay the significance. But there's a lot of people who end up in sexless marriages, and then when they make bad decisions because they're a starving man looking at that hamburger in the trash can, um, it's
That's a trash can
it,
burger.
sometimes it just be like that, man.
It already been
But
bitten.
it might have been. But
Used hamburger, man.
when you're starving, I don't know if you
Mm.
Uh-huh.
see. We're used to first world problems, but like in other countries, when you're starving,
You're desperate.
yeah. And there's a lot of people who end up making poor decisions out of desperation, as if
Because they're
like,
starving.
that's it. And that's all I'm
The work,
saying.
the
Sex
work,
is
the
one of
work,
the top
the
five
work
things.
will get outsourced. The work will get outsourced in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Hmm. So then we on this. So two things. Is she allowed to say it? Is no an acceptable response? Like
Never.
how many
No, I'm just
times?
playing. I'm sorry.
I was about to move a square. It was like, this is not helping. But no, I mean, is how many times is no an acceptable response?
Mm.
Mm.
So here's what I heard, and I actually enjoyed a woman's perspective on this. Actually, I heard it was a couple that was talking about it. They said that if a woman or a man tells their spouse no, this couple had a rule that that's the person who said no will be the one to initiate
That makes sense.
Mm.
the soonest possible interaction to be able to come together. And so that might not work for some, but I thought that it was a very interesting perspective because the reality is life happens. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, there's health issues. Sometimes there's emotional issues, especially when you're dealing with,
Schedules
Right.
issues. There's so many different things that
You
can
just and
yeah,
you
stop
just
couples.
said. Yeah.
So then
absolutely.
what's an issue that's not an issue? Like, no, you can't use this as as an excuse.
That's-
If they got a headache every other day,
Mhm.
We
you
gonna see
know,
a therapist, right?
yeah,
Mm.
I have a headache. Well, I'm not trying to do anything with your head. I'm sorry, but
You breathing that mountain air, man. You out
You
there
got,
breathing that mountain air. Listen, but
you
he not lying.
sometimes it's just hold
ain't
still,
lying.
hold still, don't move, don't move.
Just no sleep. You ain't
Don't
gotta do nothing.
listen.
You ain't gotta do nothing. We know what time it is. Ain't no secrets here. We husband and wife. Yeah, husband and wife. But here's the thing too though. What happens is that some people will say no and get mad at their partner for taking care of themselves. You can't do that. You can't do that because now you're getting mad at them for not going out and outsourcing the work and they're just handling the work themselves. What do you expect them to do? And now I got pent up frustration, which turns to anger. Now I'm beating the dog or the kids or you,
Mm.
or I'm outsourcing the work. So if you say no and the person wants to take care of themselves and they're fine with that, hey, by all means.
So are you saying that they should just like suck it up and just I mean, just have sex.
No,
Sometimes.
there's a yeah, sometimes,
Sometimes.
and there's also compromise too. You know,
Yeah.
you compromise.
I was gonna say there's compromise because sometimes most women don't know. We just need a little bit of pressure. We need you to release some of this pressure out this
Just a
pipe.
little
Like,
bit.
listen. Fine. You're not in the mood. I get it, but I can't go to work tomorrow with all this pressure and all these
And that
distractions and these. Listen, this is
What?
for us.
What?
I
temptation.
need you to do this for us
What?
because
So
I know you don't
you're
want to do
saying,
all of it, but listen, we gotta do something because it's gonna be hard out here tomorrow.
wait a minute, did you
Literally.
just acknowledge that you have to say that there are distractions? Basically, just
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think
you're
sometimes you just
acknowledging
gotta keep it 100. You
distraction.
gotta keep 100, baby. I just need to be able to. I know some women. I've heard from a woman's perspective. She always makes sure her man leaves and he drains. She drained every ounce out of
Empty
him before he get.
Makes
And the clip is
makes
empty. That's a
so
woman who
empty
sense.
clip.
values her marriage and understands the temptations that exist. And so she, when she feels like it, and when she doesn't. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't exceptions. I'm just
Right.
saying there
Because
needs to
it
be
just
an acknowledgement of the fact that we are visual beings, we are sexual
Uh-huh.
beings, and if we don't get, we can't get it at any other store but yours. And so
Uh-huh.
if you closed
lock
on
the
Sunday
doors.
like Chick-fil-A, and you closed on Monday and on Tuesday and on Wednesday and on Thursday and on Friday and on
Like
Saturday,
my business.
what you expect
Uh-huh.
me to do? Just not eat?
And because we're creatures of habit like that, it's like if they really understood that if you take care of that one need to the fullest of the extent, everything else kind of falls in line with us being more willing to compromise on other things. Because if you're
Yeah,
taking care of that, and you say like, oh, I don't know if I want to cook. Oh, don't worry about it. I eat some cereal because
that part right there.
you're taking care of everything.
That
So
part.
it's that one thing. It's like, hey, if you taking care of that, guess what? We will go above and beyond to be willing to compromise on so many other things too.
All right. So what does it mean when a man tells his wife that he doesn't want her sexually?
They got other issues. To me, they got other issues that they need to be in therapy for. If a man does not want his wife sexually, if he doesn't have a physical condition, or he's not in the middle of some type of like deep emotional grief, and yeah, they got other issues. To me,
Yeah.
that's just me.
If they
I
got
let
issues, and yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying I let the therapist speak. Go ahead.
No, man, you got I was gonna say it's deeper issues on both cylinders. Is with himself, possibly, and with the relationship. So it's definitely something that needs to be explored. But some guys, it can be. Some guys are a little more superficial. Where I've seen, after pregnancy weight, the wives didn't lose it right
Yeah.
away, and because he wasn't attracted to her more fluffy shape, he said he couldn't be intimate with her. Things like that, again, we still need to come sit down and have a conversation about because
Mm-hmm.
again,
The
but
conversation.
I'm learning there's more people out there like that than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
So
have that conversation? Like, because it, in essence, aren't you telling her you don't like her if it is if you're not sexually attracted or even want to engage? Like,
there are times where, okay, since we here for this, let's just be honest. There are sometimes people get married and they get comfortable. That was the
Uh,
goal. I got a husband now. I
Both
bagged him,
ways.
caught him. I don't have to do anything else to maintain because he ain't
Uh-huh.
going nowhere because I think he gonna stay here forever. So
mhm.
there
So
are people who got into marriages with the false mindset or false reality that they don't have to maintain it. So they let themselves go. And they admittedly said this. This isn't me putting my theory or my thought or my view on it. This is what I was told by these women. I let myself go. Like bad. Like things that I did not do to get him, I now do. Like we all send a representative of sorts. But
Yeah.
there were some guys who, oh, my girlfriend never has guests. Yet now he says all she does is light the house up and like
uh-huh.
hygiene
Oh.
declined. All
Hmm.
the things everything that he liked about her when he first met her has stopped. So naturally, his desire has also diminished and decreased and not what it was. But that's for a reason. Like that didn't just happen overnight. There were things that took place after they got married that he was not expecting. He like he he thought he was gonna be married to the representative, like everybody.
Yeah.
So how do you have that conversation to make those changes? I mean, or is it something that you lead by example? Like,
No,
does he
not
start
always.
working out? Does he start, going, getting ultra groomed?
Well, well, see, this is what you asked the question originally. What do you want, or what are one of the things? And I'm gonna jump around a little bit, real quick. You said what are the things we look for
In marriage? Yeah, it's there.
in marriage? I was gonna say coachability, and I get this long story about how Phil Jackson preferred coaching Jordan over Kobe for that reason. Just coachability is big. So when you have that relationship and you have that rapport, you can go to your teammate and say, "Hey, what's up? These are the things we agreed to. This is what we typically. This is how we run this play over here. So if you deviate, then we got to have a conversation." So saying that to say, if you find yourself if you find yourself having to have these difficult conversations, if you are with a person who is coachable, a person who listens, a person who you can talk to, it's a lot easier versus somebody who you can't. They gonna do what they gonna do, and you just gonna have to deal with it. That don't work. They get cut, they get traded, they get benched.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that definitely is on a list. For me, I know in this season of life, becoming single in my 40s or late 30s, probably the single most important quality is whether or not they have a growth mindset. If
Yeah.
if they're open, if they're someone who is on a growth, personal development and growth journey themselves, because somebody like that, life is going to life. You're going to find people who have different attributes. But if you're constantly growing, if you actually want to get better, if when somebody tells you something, you don't get attitude, you actually are open to receive and to change. Like that's better than gold, because things are going to change. The one thing constant in the world is change. And until we get to the point where we're open, Proverbs puts it this way: instruct the wise, do not rebuke a wicked man, or he will hate you. Instruct a
Or he
wise
hate.
man, and he will love you.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be wiser still. And so I need to be a person who is constantly open to receiving um, rebuke, courageous conversation, so that I can get better. And I want to be with someone who also has that capability, so that when we have to have those courageous conversations, because it's only a matter of time, whether it's weight,
Oh,
whether it's
oh,
finances, whether it's like whatever it is, that we're going to approach it from the standpoint of continuous growth and personal development, and not this is just the way that I am. You need to get over it.
how much rebuke are you willing to take?
Honestly, nobody likes rebuke. Like I don't like it when people tell me about myself, but I know that it's necessary.
Mm.
And so,
all of us.
if yeah, and so because I know it's necessary, I do everything that I can to position myself to not only take it, but then respond positively to it.
So then, what's the fine line between rebuke and attack?
Ooh, approach.
Approach, intention, and
Timing. Timing as well.
timing. Yeah,
When you
approach,
first
attention, timing, all that.
yeah, when you first walk in the door, bad time.
Nah.
Bad time.
And if your intention is to tear me down, not I'm not.
Yeah.
It won't work. But if you're telling
Mm-hmm.
me these things to help build me, if I got spinach in my teeth, tell me. Don't let me get
Mm-hmm.
up in front. Don't let me get up in front of every America and present as president, and I'm on screen with all this stuff in my like. No, pull my coattail. Tell me you about to go up there and embarrass yourself. Let me get the spinach out your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's we do find that though. Some people, a lot of couples who don't understand that timing piece. And anytime they offer feedback, it is to tear each other down.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only way that they know.
Being able
Yeah.
being able to understand that whole concept of being a a teammate, is very important because you have a lot of couples out here that are, how can I say this, jealous of each other. Like, say, for instance, if one person makes more money than the other, it's like, why are you jealous of, like, if I win, you win. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of people that are just jealous and don't understand that concept of teamwork. If I make this money, we it's not me making this money, it's we are making this money. And a lot of people just cannot understand that whole concept of team. I've actually had a couple. The guy says, "No, she's not my teammate. No, she's under me. She's not my teammate." And it's like, wow, with that whole concept of how you view your spouse or your mate, it's this is never going to work ever. It's never going to work. So I think being able to have that concept of that we are here to not only lift each other up, but to help each other in this game called life, as well as being able to understand that we, if I lose, you lose. So if I tear you down, I'm tearing us down. I'm tearing the marriage down. I can't do that. If I come to you and I do have an issue with you, you know what I mean? I have to remember what my tone is and what and how my approach is, because that can be the difference between this being a disagreement to where we have a meeting of the minds and an understanding to it going full scale war after that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the Steve brought up a powerful point. The first thing was that on my mind wasn't sex; it was actually partnership. Because I think men are looking for, if you're gonna say, "Hey, I will marry you. I want you to be my one." You're not looking for somebody who's gonna be adversarial.
No.
You're looking for somebody who's going to embrace partnership in all areas and aspects of life: mind, body, spirit, resources, and obviously your relationships. But partnership is very undervalued. A lot of people approach it from a standpoint of me, myself, and I, instead of we and ours, which is necessary for a healthy marriage, in my personal opinion.
So what does we and ours look like? Because we on the surface, we maybe she takes my last name. We have a child. But what does we look like underneath that surface? In the home when no one can see but the two of you.
Because we live in a day where that concept, it sounds nice and it's very idealistic, but I will be honest, there isn't a lot of we and a lot of couples when it comes to a lot of things. And every couple's different. Everybody's different. Everybody handles money,
Mhm.
time, but I feel like if we really truly understood this concept, I wouldn't have 90% of the couples that I have.
Yeah, I would say in part it's roles, understanding roles. So, man,
And you know what?
and question.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think that it also revolves around sometimes what you do when you guys aren't even around each other. Like, how does your spouse affect you when you're not around them? Because going out into the world, I am a representation of us. What am I doing to represent us as a whole? Because if I go out here and show my behind, I am representation of us and how we are as a couple, as well as just, hey, the things that you're doing throughout life. What am I doing? I'll take even, for instance, even for me, being on my motorcycle, I got on my motorcycle yesterday for the first time for the season. And my thought process a lot is like, hey, don't be a fool, but doing wheelies, doing 170 miles an hour down the freeway, not just because of my health and my safety, but because I have somebody else that's my teammate that I do not want to disappoint. So this is no longer about me; it's about we and how
Hmm.
I don't want to let my teammate down.
Yeah, and so if we're using a sports analogy, it's boxing out. It's the things that
Because we
don't get
can't
on the stat sheet, because that's going to help the team win. That's going to help us to be able to have better possessions. That's going to help us to be able to better defend against the attack that is out there, because it's all out war on marriage. We don't need to really. I, if it's one thing that we know is that marriage is hard all by itself, and then you compound you once you mix in some of this selfish I, me, myself, it just becomes increasingly less probable that a union of uh, of the two becoming one from lasting till death do us part.
All right, so I got two questions. I'm gonna try to, if we may not be able to answer them both. One, I was asked yesterday in church, what does two become one really mean? And then, secondly, from the therapist in the group, and Danny, you've even counseled a lot of people. Does the we to me turn after a certain stage in marriage? Because I think when you're young and you're like in your 18, 19, 20s and you're getting married, it's about um preservation, pulling resources together, working together in order to live. It's almost like an enhanced roommate experience, but with um more intimacy, more connection, more responsibility, accountability, etc. But once you get past the initial stages of I need you, I need your resources, I need, your help, to we get increase in our careers, making more money, we making friends outside of the ones that we had prior to marriage. Is that when it goes from we to me? Is there like some warning signs? And I know this is it, we're getting off the top five, but we working in. So maybe I'll just think about it, come back. But I gotta actually have a commercial break. All right. So Gentle Journey, ABA Services. This is a company that's dedicated, has a dedicated board certified behavioral analysts and registered behavioral technicians who are passionate about guiding you and your child to their behavioral journey. With focus in providing early interventions, they tailor their services to meet the unique needs of each child and their family. And you might be wondering, what is ABA? Applied Behavioral Analyst is a scientific discipline that involves applying techniques based on learning principles to bring our meaningful and positive changes in behavior. It's often used to improve social communication and learning skills, particularly particularly in neurodiverse individuals. If you are in the Maryland, DC, or Virginia area, I implore you to check out gentlejourneyaba.com and see what services they may be able to help you or someone that you love that may be a neurodivergent individual. All right, commercial break. All right, get back to my questions. Answer them. No. But back to the top five. I want to. I think we got three. I've heard sex. I've heard partnership. I've heard willing to help. Fill in some of the gaps in behavior. But we got. What are some other ones? No.
You know
Um,
what? I think for me, is being able to effectively problem solve, understanding that we're um, gonna have disagreements, and we might have arguments. How we disagree and how we argue is extremely important. I didn't really understand that until getting into a good relationship. That arguments and disagreements aren't always bad. They can be very constructive. But seeing how that is, it's like it's a game changer to be able to disagree and maybe argue and walk away with solutions to move forward is extremely, extremely important. And that is the difference between a good relationship and a relationship that is not going to go anywhere. So I say another one just for me is being able to, I'm not going to say fight fair, but just be able to problem solve, because there will be problems in any relationship.
Mhm.
So what does that look like? I mean, is that having rules of marriage, rules of engagement? You know, the
Sometimes and sometimes it's just about having a mutual respect, not only for the other person but for the process in of itself, understanding that you can't scream, you can't curse out, you can't name call, you can't bring up stuff from the past, you can't do all these particular things if you want a positive outcome. You got to sometimes let your emotions take a back seat for a second in sake of logic, and not really logic but what reality is, and what the facts are. And a lot of couples cannot do that because not just women, but a lot of men, we get in our feelings behind how we felt, or what things happened 9 years ago or whatnot, and we're still stuck either in the past or in our emotions, and that inability in doing that hinders us from moving forward in the presenting problem. So sometimes it looks like being able to respect the process and be able to respect the person that you're talking to, and have that understanding. It goes back to the concept of team. You're not gonna just, if you know this teammate is, we're in this to win. If you know this person is on your team, you're not gonna disrespect them, or put them down to the point to where they can't even play no more. You're not gonna do that. But a lot of people don't realize that.
so if a man is holding on to something for 9 years, let's put it out there. We need resolution. It's a part of the language of respect and accountability is that there has to be some form of resolution, even if it's like, yo, I'm just not going to rock with you like that. It has to be addressed. If it's not addressed and it goes that long, then I think it does turn from respect and accountability to emotional response, which is foreign to men.
Mm.
Think of every relationship that you've had with someone that has wronged you that has been a male. It has been resolved in no it what 6 months or less, maybe
Mm.
even the next day. Especially if there's respect or even if the person doesn't like you. Accountability and respect says I'm going to, if I bring this up to you and say, man, you was wrong, my bad. It's why it moves
Yeah,
forward.
that.
You do the same thing over with that person, probably not. Or you might try give them one more time. But because there was acknowledgement and there was some type of resolution, yeah, 9 years. If a man is holding on to some 9 years, he didn't get a chance to say his piece.
But you know what? Sometimes we do, but it's it's weird that
Go on and say it,
there's
Smoke.
there's a fixation that a lot of, I'll say, not just women but men have, where they are fixated on proving that you were wrong, proving that I was right, you were wrong, X, Y, and Z, and they still, again, going back to the concept of a teammate. You're tearing this person down who is on your team. Okay, she was wrong. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
What are you trying to prove? But there's something about us that we have to just continue to prove our point and prove our point, and it's not necessary at all. Not
I
necessary at
just
all. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I just had the visual. I was giving a basketball analogy earlier. It's like boxing out your own teammate,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it's like,
Yeah.
Or be rating them, like you running
yeah,
down, like, man, don't shoot that. Don't shoot that
technical
again.
foul. Wait, he's on your team. Wait, what?
And punch him in the face anyway.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, that's true.
I'm surprised I haven't heard and maybe it was in an umbrella as far as like finances and just how we approach spending and saving and discretionary monies versus what's for the house or I haven't heard if they have kids
I would.
before. No, Keith. Mhm.
No, I was gonna say. I would say. Well, no. This is about all of that. But it's sort of my broad umbrella that I point out to the couples that I'm working with in their premarital counseling. Don't assume or don't go into marriage, because a lot of you kind of mentioned it before. Sometimes we look at the person that we're interested in and say, oh, because they have these attributes, if I marry that, I will absorb or become those attributes. And so if you marry a man or a woman with money, it doesn't become I will now learn how I will now also inherit or become rich in many ways. You won't have the habits. You'll have you may have access to resources, but you won't have the habits that help that person to become wealthy. So a lot of people, and this is I'm using money, but this isn't just money. This is attitude as well. I'm going to marry a person because again, opposites do attract a lot of times. We look for people who either don't have who have opposite attributes. Because while I hate the saying that oh she completes me or he completes me, but sometimes we do look for people who have attributes we don't have, but we should be wise enough going into this to not look for people to complete us. We need to be working on that assignment on our own. They're supposed to add to our lives or add to our happiness. When I said coachability, what that meant to me, what I had to explain to somebody, that means that if I'm coaching, I have to learn something to coach. I have to learn something to teach. So I can't teach her if I'm not learning for myself. So I'm not looking, but at the same time, if I marry a woman who knows more about finances than I do, and she's willing to teach me, I then have to become coachable and listen to what I may not know or may not have. So it goes both ways, but we don't automatically inherit the gifts of others. We like their attributes, we love what they do, but sometimes we as men got to shut up and let them
Yep. There
also
you go.
help us. And so when I say being coachable, it goes both ways. Sometimes we don't want to shut up.
Yeah.
And like they said, we want to get our point across, and we want to beat that dead drum till we can't be
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
We're just as bad. Man, it's almost 11. Probably just wrap this up a little early.
I got one more to throw in real fast, Brian. I know Steve's got to get
Oh,
ready to run. I'm just gonna
oh
say
no, you're good.
affirmation. Affirmation. Like
Mm.
men are going back to the whole teammate thing. It's just like I know what I'm out here trying to do, but if I can find a cheerleader who can help, like
Whew, man.
affirmation over agitation, like if she's gonna help build me up so
That should
that
be
I'm increasingly
Ooh-wee.
becoming more and more like Superman and less like Clark Kent, like that's a keeper. Men seek to bag the woman who's gonna help him accomplish the mission. And I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. Affirmation is a
Mm-hmm.
critical aspect, especially for men. Does she know how to build him up? Ooh, my man, like Sinbad. um, that's one of those things that is invaluable because it helps you to accomplish what the mission you're already on. Batman needs Robin.
Now, let me ask you this: with affirmation, is it more that you need to hear it, or is it better that she's promoting it or broadcasting it to her community within your earshot?
It depends on the person because everybody needs it differently. It's like how you like your eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Eggs are eggs, but at the end of the day, omelets, scrambled. Like again, there are times that we do need. It might just need to be private affirmation. I believe in
Yeah.
you. Go out, go kill it. And sometimes it might
Yep.
be public promotion. But I think for most guys, I think most guys need it privately first. You did.
Yeah.
They need. They need to hear because if we've had this conversation, if you only promoting it online, then who's it for? If you don't come to me and
Yep.
say this to me, and I've never heard it out your mouth that you believe in me, but you'll say it to somebody else, who's that for? Even if it is for me, how can I like? But you've never told me that. Like how many people
Exactly.
their fathers die and they never hear? I got people coming to counseling for that. My father never told me he was proud of me. He said he told other people, but he never told me.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's why it's important to hear from the horse's mouth sometimes, or most times. I believe in you. You frustrate me. I didn't believe at first because I know Wiser said when you quit your job to do whatever it is you're about to do, I ain't see it at first, but but I believe, and even when I didn't believe, I still hope, I still held you down. So
You go, I can run through a wall.
Yep. You know what? I'm a testament. I'm a testament just to that. You know, being able to have somebody that has your back and being able to do something different, like me doing up my private practice. I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't with the woman I was with right now, I don't know how long. I mean, eventually I would have did it, but I don't know how much longer it would have took me to do it. Being able to have a teammate to say, you know what? Not only do I believe in you, but I'm encouraging you to do this. I have your back, and then having that reassurance when I did say, "Hey," it was one day where I just said, "You know what? Enough's enough." Hey, babe. Remember what we talked about before? I'm about to do it. You still good? You like, hey, I'm all for it. Go ahead, do it. Being able to have that type of reassurance that, hey, I got your back and I believe in
That's
you.
all we need.
That's
That's all we
that
need.
that's
That's
powerful.
it.
That
That's
is extremely
yeah.
powerful.
And a lot of
That is
times when people end
extremely
up in affairs, it's because they're getting
powerful.
that somewhere else. I'm just saying.
Hmm. It's been outsourced. It's been outsourced.
Yep. It's not
All right,
always about sex.
It's
let's go
not.
into
You're
So
that.
right. You're right. It
You're
helps
right.
though.
yeah,
Let's go
yeah, yeah. So
in.
my parting words, and I'll just shut it up, is on the heels of that. It's just like we are all on a journey, and if you can find somebody who can help build you up, and and strategically build you up more than they say things that would tear you down, because sometimes you need a courageous conversation. Hey, I need you to level up. Hey, I need you. But like,
Mhm.
what's the math? The math ain't math, and if you all they have is the critical voice, and you're not uplifting them. Like, there's no situation that I've ever seen where somebody works well under commendate under a condemning tone as opposed to a
Mhm.
commending tone. And
Yep.
so it just helps both parties when you've got somebody who's building each other up. So that's it for me.
Sure.
Okay.
We
I'll
got
just
off
I'll
that.
just
I'm not going to even talk about them building us up because we touched on that. I think we as men struggle because we didn't get it and we don't normally explore that side of our brain, but we need to learn more of how to build up others around us, even in our own
mm,
homes. Because just like we expect her to build us up, we need to go to her too
Hmm.
and
mhm.
speak words of life, speak words of affirmation, speak
Get some flowers.
positive things. It just hype her up, not just when it's date night, you going out and she got a new outfit, but just around the house when something. I know it sounds so superficial, but it's a new plant in the house. Baby, you got a new plant. Like sometimes she just tries something new or something you've been asking her to do, or something she's been trying to do for her own self, for her own goals. Whatever it is, it doesn't even just have to be around the house. It could be with something she did with the kids, but just learning
Mhm.
to we all need to do a better job of activating that portion of our brain and learning to be more emotionally present,
Mhm.
myself included. But hyping them up, and so and that reciprocation sometimes, like you said, dynamic duo out here. It's just we can conquer
Mhm.
we out here conquering the world together.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a piggyback off of that, Keith, because sometimes understanding what makes you a dynamic duo is understanding that sometimes you got to do some things that you don't want to do. It may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, like shopping with your woman. If that's what she like to do, go
Wait a
ahead,
minute.
shop with her.
Hold on. Wait a minute. This
Go
is what I
ahead.
thought. No,
Go
man.
ahead, because it's gonna be times where you want to do what it is that you want to
I
do. She may not want to
know.
be sitting at that basketball game or football game or whatever it may be, but she doing it for you. That's what
True.
you like. So therefore,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go to Neiman Marcus some days and sit in that they got a chair for
Oh.
men. Just sit there, and when she say, "How does it make me look?" Oh, I like it. Just do it because she assures you for
Uh-oh.
you, you got to do the
Keith.
same thing for her. And that's what we about to do. That's what we about to do at the church. But look, that's what I got to do because it's my teammate. She do it for me, so I got to do it for her. Why not? I'll
I
take
think
my
Keith.
cell phone or my video game thing or a book. Hey, be in the moment. You ain't got to participate that much. Just be present. That's all it takes. Keith.
He might need a session, Steve. He might need a session. I'm just saying.
Man, I have all kind of PTSD sitting at the mall 4 hours where
Ooh,
and it's like
yeah. Mm,
started with my
mm,
mama. That's a long story. Just going to the mall. I just hate the mall. I'll go though if she really wants really wants to go. So
mm.
any day, anytime. But not any day, anytime, but I gotta mentally prepare to walk from store to
Oh yeah,
store.
you do. Oh, you do. Yeah. Look, that's what we about
That's
to
what she
do right
do.
now. I brought my book. I brought my book. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. No. Don't drive yourself crazy.
already know.
You just gotta be present. You just gotta be present. Just gotta be present.
The first pair, you look at the first pair and it's like, no, let's go look at the other stores, only to come back. You buy the first pair.
You
4
sound like
hours
that.
later.
You sound that Men of Target spoof.
Now, moving to the husband's wall. There's a husband's wall on there in there where the husbands all the
If they're smart, they'll have a special room for the husbands that either have nostalgic video games, just something, just to like,
in
all
their
right, you
sleep,
go.
trying not to die. The old men just sitting in
Yep.
there. What year is it?
Yep.
Or pretty soon, our head sending our stunt double out there at home, just with the Oculus on.
It reminds me real fast. It just reminds me of I heard this one quote. So why do men typically die before their wives? Because they want to.
Because we be on time. That's why. Because they gonna be late to their own funeral.
All right, go ahead.
Now, Keith, did you give your first points? Because I feel like you.
Did I give
He did.
Oh, he did.
I piggyback off.
Went to the store. All right. Well, I don't have anything original, so I'm just going to take. We're talking about building up. I'm just going to take these couple of lyrics from Anthony Hamilton's Cool. It says, "Quit your worrying, baby. Quit your worrying, girl. Quit your crying, lady. We can conquer the world." So together, and most of the song was, we ain't gotta. What is it? We don't have to worry about no money for us to have a real good time. So he was laying it down, just saying circumstances may happen, but if it's just us, we can conquer the world. And so we gotta somehow peel back all the different layers, all the different because circumstances. Danny said life is going to happen, and if we can see through that. Sometimes it might be blue lenses, sometimes it might be pink lenses, but in a perfect world, it'll be purple lenses. If we can just see through that, as in our relationships, in our marriages, we can conquer this world in efforts to try to make it to the life hereafter. All right, well, I want to thank my brothers for taking some time. We started a little bit later than we normally do, but we had to get this out before the last birthday boy has his birthday coming up this week. We'll make sure that we will call because he says he's accepting calls. He may not answer, but according to that face, that's I'm not going to answer face. But at least he'll get a text message.
Answer.
Well, you better not answer that phone. Just leave your phone here. Take my phone. That way you're not going to answer. But fellas, just want to thank y'all again for your time, and as always, peace.